On today's episode of Warehouse Safety Tips, we're going to be talking about safety tips for powered industrial trucks. So stay tuned.
Welcome to Warehouse Safety Tips. If you're a seasoned vodcast viewer, this vodcast is going to be different from most that you watch. It's based around exactly what the name implies, warehouse safety tips. And since the people in this industry are busy, we know that time is money, so each episode will be as short and to the point as possible. And now, with all that out of the way, let's get to the vodcast.
On this week's episode of Warehouse Safety Tips, we're going to be continuing on with our lift truck information that we've been talking about, and just want to make sure that we provide as many tips and tricks as possible, because this is something that we mentioned before, but is as prevalent as PPE in especially warehouses, that lift trucks and just industrial powered trucks are going to be around. So one of the very first things that we want to talk to you about is proper load handling and stability. It's something that we talked about in bits and pieces before, but it's still worth just kind of hammering home the importance of this. You want to make sure that you secure and fasten all loads before any movement, avoiding overlooking to maintain the truck's stability. And be mindful of the load center of gravity, and use load backrest extensions to prevent the load from shifting. Always be aware of the truck's lift and extension limitations to avoid any sort of tipping. The second thing is going to be training and certification for operators. This is as important as just training in general and making sure that everybody is licensed to use the lift trucks or the industrial powered machines that are in your location. But just make sure that you ensure all operators receive all the comprehensive training and certification on the side of anything that you are recommending or something that is mandated at your facility. And then the third thing is going to be making sure that you maintain clear visibility and use signaling devices. So that may be things like horns, lights, going through and having some sort of signaling devices, or even using a spotter to make sure that pedestrians and anybody can see you when you're going through. And then the next thing is going to be speed control and safe operation. You want to make sure that you always maintain a good speed, make sure that you're safe, make sure that you're keeping your forks tilted to where your loads don't shift off, and if you would have to stop, slide off. And then something that's going to do is actually save both paint and tape in your location. We support safety striping in the form of tape, but tape, epoxy, all that stuff can be popped up when you have your forks down or if you're dragging loads. So just make sure that you are mindful of that and very safe. And last but not least, always have special considerations for handling flammable liquids. So if you are in a situation where there could be a spark, or if you're going to have any possibility of igniting a flammable liquid, make sure that the handling of that is done correctly with both correctly classified and equipment for such materials. So this is by no means the end-all be-all list. We say this almost every time. Make sure that you follow the rules and the guidelines of your specific facility. But this is going to be a great place to get started. So until we talk to you next week, have a great week, stay safe, and here is a word from one of our sponsors.
It's scientifically unexplainable. It's virtually indestructible. And it's taking over the entire planet. But in a really good way. It's Mighty Line floor tape, the most durable floor tape in the world. 7 times thicker than average floor tape. Beveled to endure pounding warehouse traffic. And backed with a super strong peel and stick adhesive, so you'll never have to worry about painting shop floors again. Mighty Line floor tape, the only durable stripe.